Hello students. In our last class we had studied in brief about the cabinet ministers, ministers of state and the deputy ministers. In today's class we are going to study about the cabinet, the formation and the appointment of the cabinet. Formation. You can underline the lines. The cabinet is composed of a small but important body of senior leaders of the party. So the cabinet comprises of the senior leaders of the party who are included in the council of ministers. And these senior leaders, they hold important portfolios and decide major policies of the government. And they are trusted men of the Prime Minister. They form the nucleus of the administration. In fact, the cabinet is the pivot round which the whole administration revolves. So these cabinet ministers, they are the senior leaders of the party and they hold important portfolios and they decide major policies of the government. The cabinet takes important decisions. Such decisions are communicated to the other ministers, communicated or it is carried forward to the other ministers, and they have to follow these decisions even though they might not have been a part to such decisions. Now the appointment of cabinet. Please underline. The Prime Minister selects his senior and trustworthy colleagues and advises the President to appoint them as cabinet ministers. So the Prime Minister, he makes the choice for the cabinet ministers and he tells the President, he advises the President to appoint these senior members as the cabinet ministers. And the President then appoints them as ministers as per the advice of the Prime Minister. Now, term of office, underline. The ministers hold office during the pleasure of the President. But the President has little power even in this regard because, so as we have been studying, the President, he is just a nominal head. The real powers lies in the hands of the Prime Minister. So the Prime Minister and the Council of Ministers are directly responsible to the Lok Sabha and can remain in office so long as they enjoy the majority. You can underline all these lines. Majority support in the House of the People, that is the Lok Sabha. If the Lok Sabha passes a vote of no confidence against the Council of Ministers, they have to resign collectively. They here refers to the Prime Minister and the cabinet ministers. Everyone has to resign collectively if a vote of no confidence has been passed against the Council of Ministers. Second point, the Council of Ministers are collectively responsible to the Lok Sabha. Third, before a minister enters upon his office, the President administers him the oath of office and of secrecy. Now, what is this oath of office and secrecy? In the oath of office, the minister swears or he takes an oath or he promises to first bear true faith and allegiance. Allegiance means that he is going to be loyal to the Constitution of India. Second, uphold the sovereignty. Sovereignty is having supreme power and integrity of India. So he is going to uphold, he is going to keep the supreme power and integrity. Integrity is the unity of India. C, faithfully and conscientiously discharge his duties, discharge or carry out his duties without fear or favor or partiality, action or ill will. In the oath of secrecy, secrecy is that he is going to keep the confidential matter secret. The minister swears not to directly or indirectly communicate or reveal to anyone any matter which is brought for consideration except as may be required for the discharge of his duties. Fourth point, every minister must be a member of either House of the Parliament or must become one within 6 months of his appointment, failing which he will have to vacate or he has to resign from his office. Fifth, The salaries and allowances of ministers are such as Parliament, that means they are going to draw the salaries as members of Parliament from time to time by law determines.